Hi, everyone. So, this year, I want to try and do some health videos every Monday. Hopefully, I make it and keep them to about 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I don't really have a timer, so I can't say how long I talk for, but I'm hoping this video will only be 2 minutes. So, things that I've been thinking about, I titled this video, Our Body is a Gift, because everybody is probably making New Year's resolutions today, if they haven't already, about health and losing weight and all that other stuff. And I just wanted to take a minute and think about how miraculous our bodies are and what a great gift from the Creator they are. Man has not been able to reproduce anything that we have in our bodies as well. Not our eyeballs, not our hearts, not our ears, our hands. And even if they reproduce something that is like that, it doesn't last as long. Is there anything man-made that you can think of that can regenerate itself, that can heal itself? I can't think of any. And how intricate our bodies are, from DNA to cells, and how incredibly complex they are. It can't be by accident. Our obviously our brains are the big one, the powerhouse, but also if you think about every single specialty that doctors have, ear, nose, and throat doctors, internologists, immunologists, cardiologists, podiatrists, dentists, optometrists. Did I say audiologists? I don't know. Anyway, all these people specializing in just one part of the body tells you that the body is as amazing as a whole as it is in each individual part, even down to, like I was saying, the smallest parts like DNA, and that's even broken down even further. So our bodies are miraculous, and they were created, I believe, by God. Some people don't believe that, but man has not come up with anything better yet. So until man does, then that's what I'm going to believe in. And as far as that goes, I have a hard time telling people, going with advice that is given just merely by men, as far as your health goes, because it is so volatile, it shifts so much, that I'd rather go right to the source, right to who I believe created my body, which is God. So, if we go into the Bible and we look at how God said to take care of our bodies, we can look at the example of the original diet he said for Adam and Eve to keep, which was to eat of the fruits of the trees and the nuts and the seeds and the grains of the fields. If we look at what he told the children of, or what he provided the children of Israel to eat when they were wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, that would be manna, which has been described as bread that fell from heaven. And then, of course, we can look at the story of Daniel, which is also in the Old Testament, where he was chosen because he was one of the most wise children of Israel. He was chosen to go live with the king as well as another group of children. And the king was going to teach him, or them, in his ways. And he wanted them to drink his wine and meat. And they denied it and asked for pulse, which, if you look up what pulse is basically a mixture of grains with produce. And that's the modern definition. Some people say it includes legumes and other things. And then if we go even further, in my own religion, in my own understanding, we have this thing called the word of wisdom, which we believe is direction from God given through a prophet. And in that word of wisdom, it talks about eating the herbs of the field. Now, eating herbs, wholesome herbs specifically, so things that are unprocessed. And if you look up what the 1800 definition is for the word herbs, it's plants. So plants as unrefined as possible. It talks about eating them in their season, which now we understand they're a whole lot more nutritious in their season. It talks about focusing on grains, and then as far as animals go, it has a couple of specific phrases in there that talk about eating them sparingly. And that's left up to your own interpretation for what sparingly is. My interpretation, I've looked up one of the things that vegans or people who don't eat animal products have a hard time getting nutrition-wise is B12. And that's the only thing. Protein's not an issue. Protein's in everything. But B12 is one of those things that our bodies can't produce, that we have to get from the outside world. And B12, if you're going to get it from meat, you need 1 ounce a day, which is, if you look at your palm, this is a 3-ounce slab of meat. So 1 ounce would be about that big. And so that's about the length and size of my thumb. So that's what sparingly means to me. You can interpret it differently, but there are other phrases in that Revelation which talk about animals, and one of them is that it is pleasing unto the Lord that they should not be used only in times of cold, winter, famine. And then it talks about animals again and again. In a second time, he says to only eat them in excess of hunger or in times of famine. And so I have a hard time going with any other way of eating because of those stories and revelations. And also that revelation that I'm talking about, the word of wisdom, comes with a promise that if you do these things, you will be blessed with wisdom, health. You'll be able to run and not get tired. So not only will you have strength, but you'll have a lot of energy. And like I said, wisdom. It specifically says treasures of knowledge. And if we go back to the story of Daniel in the Bible, he was chosen out of the children of Israel with his group of friends because he was noted for his wisdom. And then also we know from later on in the story that he had the gift and ability to interpret dreams. So he was very wise, and I believe part of that wisdom was at least given to him because he kept this same type of diet. So I don't fault any of my friends for eating differently than the way I do, but that's where I'm coming from, and that is another reason why I eat this way. It's become a way of worship for me and gratitude to my Creator for everything that He gave me, and so I want to take care of what He gave me and have it live and function to its highest potential. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a good New Year's party tonight, and I'll see you next Monday, I hope.